Hey lovies, your girl Chris here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel on social, where you already know it's completely cool to obsess over sewing. So for today's video, I actually want to do a little bit of a roundup about the So Precious Fabric Challenge that went on during the month of September. Now, I was lucky enough to be asked to participate in this challenge by Whitney, who was the host of the challenge. Her handle is Tomcat Stitchery, and I actually shared 2 videos with you guys here on the channel surrounding that challenge. So in the first video, I picked out, I think it might have been 4 or 5 different fabrics that I was considering making up for the challenge. In my second video, I actually shared with you guys what I decided to sew up as my official entry into the challenge. So in case you missed any of those videos, I'll drop the link in right here or right here so you can run over and get all caught up. Now, once I was completed with my official entry, you guys, I was motivated to sew up more of my precious fabrics, and I just want to share them with you guys really quickly here today on the channel. Before I show you the other 2 or 3 fabrics that I sewed up, let me just recap my official entry make just in case you happened to have missed it. You remember this video? Hey lovelies, so if I look hot and tired, it's because I am. I'm just getting home from work and I'm super excited to get started on my precious fabric sewing project. Now, I had shared with you 5 fabrics that I was contemplating using for this challenge, but now I'm going to share with you the winner. Just a sec. And I have the fabric in my hands, you guys. It is in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bam! This is the fabric that I chose for my precious fabric challenge. Right, so that was a fabric that I opted on for my official entry, and I just really was in love with this fabric. I love the colors of it, I love the feel of it, I love the texture. Everything about it was perfect for me. So obviously that means my girl Carol is well acquainted with my tastes. Now, I'm actually going to share with you guys make number 2 for my entry. These are my saguaro trousers by Friday Pattern Company, and I lengthened this pair, I think it was by 6 inches, and then I sewed a hem that was, I think, 1.5 inches deep, because I really think floaty trousers like these really benefit from a deeper hem. I think it just adds a little bit extra weight to the hemline and just allows the leg line to fit flawlessly. Now, that coming from somebody who has no experience sewing trousers is a lot, but I think over the years I have gone down the rabbit hole of fitting trousers so many times. I have been paying attention to the fit of trousers on other people. I just hadn't been able to get the fit right on myself. With this pair, I'm pretty happy with how these look on the body. Now, even though I'm showing you this make first, this was actually my second make. My first make is in my ironing basket, you guys. I've already worn it outside of wearing it as this set. I've worn it by itself and I've washed it and I've put it to iron. I have not ironed it just yet, and so I figured that pictures of my first look will do. So I'll go ahead and pop some pictures in right here. In case you missed it, this is the Love Notions band camp shirt, and it's actually one of their new releases. Now, shameless plug, if you did not know, I am a Love Notions ambassador, and you can use my code, which is now BLK45, BLK45 for the last quarter of the year. I'll go ahead and drop that in the description box as well. So if you are minded to purchase any Love Notions patterns, then you are free to use my affiliate code. It costs you nothing extra, but it does give me a little bit of commission. So in advance, if you happen to use it, thank you very much for your support. Now, truth be told, I fell in love with the Bandcamp shirt the minute I saw it released in the ambassador group. I love the style lines, and I'm having a thing at the moment with button-down shirts. Now, I'm pretty sure you can see Kristina behind me, and she's actually rocking another button-down shirt, which happens to be part of a collaboration which I will share with you on the channel shortly. Now, along with that collab video, you'll also see a full sew along to that shirt pattern. Now I'm not going to give it away by telling you what the shirt pattern is, but I think that sew along is going to benefit you guys greatly. I feel like I took a lot of time demonstrating some techniques that you may or may not already be familiar with. Even if you have been sewing for a while, I do think that you might be able to benefit from my tutorial, so I'm hoping that you guys will tune in for that one when it goes live. Now, just so you do not miss it, now might be the best time for you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn your notification icon on, so that when it drops on the channel, you will be the first to see it. Now, along with the button-down shirt, she's also rocking a cardigan, more of which I will also tell you on an upcoming video. Now, I did share with you guys the plans, I think, for both of these fabrics, and you can find it here on the channel. I'll go ahead and drop the link in right here. So just in case you're curious as to what those might be, then you might want to go ahead and check out that video, and maybe you'll be able to figure out what Kristina is rocking on my dress form. Anyways, back to my precious fabrics. So as I was saying, I really love the line drawings for the Bandcamp shirt, and I just dove right in and cut out the Bandcamp shirt out of my precious fabric. Did I toile it? No. No, I did not. And I think a couple years ago, I would have described myself as a serial toiler, if that is even a word, just because I took a lot of time back then to make toiles of my patterns. I was still working on my fit, trying to figure out what my fit adjustments might have been, my sizing and that sort of thing. And so I spent a lot of time and a lot of fabric sewing up toiles. Now that I'm a little bit more confident in my construction techniques, and more importantly in achieving a decent fit on my patterns, I don't toile as often, especially if I'm working with a block that I am sort of familiar with, such as the case as with Love Notions patterns. Now, I am an ambassador, as I said, so that means I have sewed up quite a few Love Notions patterns, and I feel like I have a good understanding of their block by now and the adjustments that I might need to perform. So I went ahead and winged it. I performed my standard Love Notions adjustments, and I cut into my pattern pieces, sewed it up, and I was in love with my finished shirt, you guys. I love this Bandcamp shirt. I'm really happy that I went for the long sleeve version. It has enough ease in the sleeve that I can roll it up quite easily and get a different look. You guys, I just love it. And once I'd finished cutting out and sewing up my Bandcamp shirt, I did have enough fabric left over, and I was able to squeeze out these saguaro trousers. So that is where these trousers come in. Again, I really love them. Now, I wore them as a set for my official photo shoot, and I did like how they looked together, especially when I decided to make this like a faux jumpsuit kind of styling. And I think if I am going to wear this in real life, that is probably the most likely styling that I would probably go for if I was going to wear these two pieces together. Realistically, however, I feel like I'm probably going to wear these pieces a lot, but separately. I'll probably wear these trousers with any one of the colors in the trousers. I feel like I can pair these trousers with so many things because it's filled with so much color. Probably with a tank top, maybe like a t-shirt kind of vibe, maybe just a plain button down. I feel like I can get a lot of wear out of my trousers. So too with my top, I'm probably going to pair them with jeans, maybe with a denim skirt. Do I have a denim skirt? I do have a denim skirt, but that's a patchwork denim skirt, and that might be a little bit too much going on. But I feel like I probably could wear my shirt with a denim skirt, and you know, denim is trending this season, and so I'll probably gravitate to denim with my shirt. I might also wear it to work. Actually, I can probably pair it with a pair of neutral slacks, and I can get away with wearing that shirt to work. Right, anyways, let me just pop in a few more pictures so you can see these two pieces together, and then I'm going to share with you guys something else that I made with precious fabric. So just one sec. All right, I have my second make in my hands, and it is this. Now, it doesn't look like much. I don't even think I'm holding it correctly. It's inside out, you guys. All right, let's try this again. It looks like this. Can you see? Like, can you make out what this is? This is actually a swimsuit, and this is the Edgewater Avenue Athena swimsuit, and I actually hacked the pattern to create some additional style lines so that I could print mix my swimsuit. Now I share with you 2 of these fabrics as part of the planning video for the So Precious Fabrics challenge, and those were both the polka dot swimsuit fabrics. Now I have had these 2 polka dot fabrics in my stash for at least 2 or 3 years. I bought them, I think maybe 2020 or 2021 from Style Maker Fabrics, and once I received them, you guys, they both ended up in my stash. Like, all of my nerves sort of got involved, and I no longer had the balls to sew up a swimsuit then. But I have more recently been experimenting with sewing swimwear. I've actually made 2 already for the year. I'll pop the video in right here in case you want to go ahead and check that video out. And so once I pulled these 2 fabrics for that video, I felt motivated to cut into them, and I recently acquired this sort of spiral, is that spiral? What do you call this? This kind of marble print swimsuit elastic on one of my most recent fabric hauls. I actually went on a trip and I was able to do a little bit of fabric shopping. I did share that with you here on the channel as well, in case you want to go ahead and check that out. I'll also pop that in right here so you can check out all of the goodies that I scored on that fabric haul. And this one was one such goodie. And you guys, I don't know, I just couldn't get the combination of all 3 of these prints out of my head. Now I did play around a little bit trying to decide which fabric should go where. And once I had sketched them out on my croquis, this was the most pleasing combination that I came up with personally, and I do quite like the end result. Now, in terms of the pattern itself, I think it was fairly easy to construct, especially since I don't have a lot of experience making swimwear, but it was a little bit tricky attaching my elastic to my swimsuit. Now, I do have the elastic attachment foot for my serger, but even with that, I still feel like you need to pay careful attention so that you don't end up sort of shredding up some of your elastic with your serger knife. So I was really trying to slow down and take my time attaching my elastic, and I don't think I did a very good job at the intersections in terms of joining my front to my back. I do feel like I could have trimmed off my edges a little bit more, but I was a little bit nervous about cutting it too much because of the elastic, and I didn't want to inadvertently snip away my elastic, and so it's a little bit more bulky at the seams than I would have liked, but it's not really a big deal, and you won't see it unless you're looking up under my armpits, because it just so happens that the intersection falls quite high under the armpit, so I'm hoping I can get away with just wearing it as it is. Now, I have worn it already once. I was having a water park adventure afternoon with my kids. Now, it was a makeshift water park outside in my backyard. We were doing a slip and slide, and in addition to slipping and sliding on my tarpaulin, you guys, my boobs were kind of slipping and sliding in this swimsuit. Oh my goodness. In fact, I think I had a nip slip at least 2 times. My daughter was like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, your boobies." Oh my gosh. So whereas I like the design of this swimsuit, in terms of its practicability, it's probably not designed for much more than sunbathing or maybe like a gentle swim. Too much robust activity, I think, is probably not the most suitable for this swimsuit, just because it has this very deep cutout in the front. I'll go ahead and drop a picture in here so you can see what I'm talking about. And maybe it is that I needed to grade my sizes, or I don't know, just to secure a little bit better of a fit around my boob area. I'm not quite sure what the solution would be. Now, maybe I could have pulled the strings a little bit tighter, but as I had them tied, it felt quite tight enough and a little bit uncomfortable around my neckline, and so I definitely didn't want to pull it up anymore. And so I don't know, I need to think about it a little bit more as to what the possible solutions might be in terms of securing my boobies a little bit better in this swimsuit. Now, I was unable to put swimsuit cups in this swimsuit because I had no idea what to do. And because of the cut of the front, it sort of gathers down using the straps. I didn't want to end up with my cups placed like incorrectly, maybe too high up, and then by the time I went to gather it down, it would have looked just crazy on me, and so I didn't take the chance. But maybe if I had swimsuit cups, maybe my boobs would have felt a little bit more secure. That being said, I do think it's a pretty cute pattern, and I really liked what I decided to do in terms of my 3 different prints. Now on the back, I just decided to go with the plain large polka dot print, and then for my straps, I did the small polka dot on the side with the marble, and then on the side with the polka dots, I went with marble straps. So what I ended up doing was just joining the 2 strap pieces. Instead of cutting 1, I cut 2, joined them at the center seam, and that seam is just sort of hidden in the casing right around my front line. So this was another make using 2 more of my precious fabrics. Now let me know down below what you guys think, especially of the print mixing in this swimsuit. Do you think I nailed the print mix? Now print mixing is a very, I don't know, you have to execute it quite carefully. It can either go really, really well and look like, oh my god, that is so cool, or it can go the opposite end of the spectrum and just be like, what is that? You know, have you ever experienced that? Like, what is that? And so when I'm print mixing, I try to think about it as carefully as possible, and I personally quite like this print mix, but I would be very curious to know what your thoughts are on my print mixing, so please drop me a comment down below. Now while you're busy writing your comment, I'm just going to go ahead and grab another piece made with yet another precious fabric, so give me another sec. Alright folks, this is piece number 3. You might recognize this print. This is actually a Liberty London print. It's a silk fabric from Liberty, and it was expensive. I think this was retailing for like 60 quid a yard, and by quid I mean British pound sterling. I have never spent that much on fabric. And in fact, I did not spend that much on fabric because this fabric was gifted to me by my dearest sister cousin. She bought it for my birthday in Liberty last year when we visited, and I fell in love with this fabric, but I don't know, she beat me to it. She's like, I'm getting it for you for your birthday, and I love it. So she got me just 1 yard, and can you wrong her, especially at that price tag? But I figured that I could squeeze out a top out of my 1 yard, and I decided to sew up the chalk and notch Aria blouse. Now I recently made the Aria blouse, and I really liked what I decided to do with it, in that this blouse is designed to have elastic. Look at this, you guys. My blouse fell off and I didn't even notice, so here I am holding up an empty hanger for you guys. Anyways, as I was saying, the Aria is designed to have elastic casings in the sleeve and in the hemline, but I ditched the elastic for both of these makes, this one and my previous Aria, and just went with a very deep hem. So I think my hem ended up being 1.25 inches, and I just really love how it looked. Now when I was sewing this up, I tried to take my time because I didn't want to end up getting reams in my fabric. That was one of my biggest fears in cutting into this fabric. So I went ahead and tried to use a microtex needle, and you guys, I was disappointed to have discovered that I still ended up getting 1 or 2 reams in my fabric. No, they're not so noticeable, at least I don't think they are. Well, I hope they are not. Maybe if you look closely right at the center of my front bodice, you can see a little bit of a pull right here across the front. No, you guys, I was so disappointed when I discovered it. But I figured, you know what? It was expensive, but it is only fabric, and this blouse is going to get tons of wear because I just think it is beautiful. Now I actually have it inside out. I'll show you the insides. I went ahead with serge seams. Now I did contemplate doing French seams on this blouse. However, you guys, the seam allowance for this pattern is 3/8 of an inch. I probably still could have squeezed out French seams using that seam allowance, or I could have adjusted my pattern to have bigger seam allowances, but truth be told, I didn't want to have to put more pins through this fabric than absolutely necessary. Now when you do French seams, if you're unaware, you actually sew your seams 2 times. First you sew them wrong sides together, you trim off your excess seam allowance, then you turn them right sides together, press them, pin them, and sew them again. And I just figured more pinning means more chance of me getting more reams in my fabric, and I didn't want to go there, so I just ended up using my overlocker and overlocking my edges. I think it's pretty neat on the inside anyway. It doesn't bother me too much, and overall I'm really happy with how this turned out. So it does have a neckline facing, which I much prefer to bias binding, but if you wanted to use bias binding, I'm pretty sure you could substitute it quite easily, but I do prefer a facing. I think it gives the neckline a much neater finish. It helps it to lie much better in my opinion, and additionally it helps me to be able to secure my label in without much fussing. So this is the inside of my area. I'll flip it to the outside just so you can get a better look at how gorgeous this fabric is. So this is my area right side out, and just tell me, you guys, isn't this stunning? Stunning. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that this pattern is cut on the fold both for the front and the back pieces. Now, as I said, I was only working with 1 yard and I could not get my back piece cut out on the fold. If I did, it meant that I would have to sacrifice some of the length of my blouse, and I didn't want to do that. So I actually went ahead and cut my back piece with a seam allowance, and so I do have a seam down my center back. Again, this doesn't bother me. It is not pattern matched because I did not have enough fabric even to attempt it, but I don't think it turned out too badly, and at the end of the day I'm not gonna see my back anyways, so it wasn't so much of a big deal for me. Overall, I'm really happy with this blouse, and I am going to get so much wear out of this baby. I'm really glad I finally had the nerve to cut into this fabric and to sort of transition it from my storage box into my wardrobe, where people can see it regularly and be just as taken about the fabric as I am. So I have to say kudos to Whitney for hosting such an amazing challenge. So many sewists in the community sort of get held back in terms of cutting into our good fabric. We are anxious sometimes about ruining it, not using the correct pattern to fabric pairing, that sort of thing, but at the end of the day, you guys, it really is just fabric. It's better on our bodies so other people can admire it than to be stuck in storage boxes gathering dust. So thanks again so much, Whitney, for having me as part of one of the vloggers for your vlogging tour. It really was an enjoyable experience, and I think I feel a little bit more motivated now to just go ahead and cut my fabric. If I ruin it, then I'll just move on to the next project. Maybe I will be a little bit disappointed, but I'm sure that disappointment will be quickly enough overcome if I can grab myself some more beautiful fabric. So if you are holding back on cutting out your precious fabrics, then take it from me, you guys. It's not that serious. Go ahead and cut that fabric and make and wear something beautiful. Now, that is all I needed to share with you guys for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Remember to drop me some comments down below and let me know what you think of my makes. And if you're not yet subscribed, then just go ahead and subscribe. You know you love me, you want to see more of me, so hit that subscribe button so that we can be a part of each other's lives. That simple. Until next time, you guys, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and go cut up your precious fabric. Peace.